Hey guys, how you doing? It's Dane. I'm over here at ZIMM'S Guitars, and it's my guitar shop, and I'm over here in Mesa, Arizona, just down the street from Phoenix, Arizona. And it's kind of slow today, so I thought, well, I'll do a little spontaneous live stream just to, usually that drags customers in here. Big Johnson, how you doing, buddy? Thank you guys for coming in and hanging with me. Happy Friday, Cemetery. Thanks, man. And then, wow, Jack from Louisiana. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Hopefully, we can get some guys to come in here and give me some questions to answer. Hopefully, I can answer some questions and things like that. In the meantime, I'm just going to sit here and strum a little bit. Maybe some guys will come in. And that probably really sounds horrible because, you know, I have the StreamYard that is going, you know, from my amplifier. I'm not hooked in directly to it or anything like that. So it hears it for a second and then it gets all washy and everything. So the guitar does not sound good. I know that. You know who's got the best sound when it comes to playing along is Steve from Boston. Always has a great sound. He plugs right into his computer somehow and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Big Johnson wants to talk about the weather. Yeah, it's hot, man. I have a clock up here on the wall with the date and the temperature inside my store. And it's up kind of by the windows over here, but it's saying it's 85 degrees in here. So I've got two AC units on my store. One's on this side of the building, one's over on the far side of the building. And so sometimes I only leave one of them on. And so right now I've got the air conditioner that's over on this side of the building blasting. They just keep running. So dang, I might be interested in some of them BC Rich copy Mockingbirds you have. Jack, the only one I have that's those things. Yeah, I know. One is a Fernandez, and the other one is a K Garage, which I think was made by K. And so they're both made in Japan. And you have to kind of go on Reverb and see what they're going for if you're interested. And then give me a call and shoot me an offer. And if it's something that we can agree on, because those are consignment guitars. If I own those things and I got in on those things dirt cheap, I would sell them dirt cheap just to make a few bucks and I'm out. That would be fine for me. But they're consignment pieces. So I kind of have to get, you know, top dollar as far as reverb pricing goes on those. But if you call me and you want to do something like that, I'd be more than happy to, you know, ship them over to you. Because those things are cool. And I don't think there's like very many of them in the United States. It was a Japanese model. It was intended to be only manufactured in Japan, and it was never intended to make it over here to the United States. There's a lot of them in Australia, and of course, you know, down in most likely the Philippines and Indonesia and in South Asia area. But they weren't intended to ever be sold over here in America, and I have two of them. So yeah, man, let me know if you're interested in those. What's Symmetry talking about? I highlight the comments so I can read them easier. I'm sitting here just like you with a guitar in my lap. He's got his shirt off. Yeah, I know. As soon as I get home, I take the shirt off. You guys don't want to see me without my shirt on right now, though. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I know. I love the BC Rich stuff, too. I traded one away the other day because, you know, I've probably got about a dozen of them, and a lot of them I've had painted. And I had one up here, you know, behind me up at the top here. I mount them up there. And a guy came in and he really wanted one of them. And he actually gave me a older, not real old, but a 2000, I think it was a 2011, or I forget, but it was an SG. A guy gave me a Gibson SG for one of them. So I kind of did an equal trade, you know. We were just kind of, okay, we'll trade. Here you go. And I pulled it down from the wall, and he was happy about it, and I was happy about it. Because I'm kind of getting a lot of them now. So I've been doing these videos called From Garbage to Glitter. And I have another Warlock in the back room that is probably going to be next in my Garbage to Glitter series of videos. It's a really old, beat up Mockingbird. I mean, it's not like old where it was 1980s Bernie Rico old, but I've got more of them coming because I do like the BC Rich stuff. Thoughts on the Samick? Thoughts on the Samick made guilds under $700? I don't know a lot about them because the stuff I know about is what gets traded into my store. Now I do, and I don't get that many guilds traded into the store. I do have a guild 12 string over here that I got the other day, but what I know about Samick is they're pretty much one of the top manufacturers in the world. I know that they have Indonesian factories that made all those Squires back in the 1990s and the early 2000s. You'd have serial numbers, and I believe it was an S or like an L1 or an I. It's like an IS serial number, and I think that was Indonesian Samick. And Samick makes a lot of great guitars. They made a lot of those Epiphone Les Pauls. And the serial numbers on those, I believe, starts with an S. So yeah, we had a lot of guitars are made by Samick, and again, they're a high quality factory that makes really good, affordable items. And so I don't know too much about the guilds though. So sorry about that. Yeah, Jack, if you're really interested, man, there's a couple of them on Reverb. Check eBay, check the sold listings, what they're selling for, and call me during regular business hours and shoot me an offer. Plus, I'd have to add about maybe $75 for shipping to get it over to you. What guitars would you show Phil if he came in with $500? I have 3 or 4 that I've bought from Phil. Phil comes in to my shop every 2 or 3 months. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it takes him longer. He's busy. I think he's actually in Indiana at the Sweetwater, thing that's going on over there with Sweetwater this week. All the YouTubers are hanging out over there. And he makes those videos. What would you buy for $500? He's seen my inventory. I did sell him a Music Man. Well, we do trades, but he ended up with the Music Man. But you know what? I was kind of honored because he did a video. Philip McKnight is who you're talking about. And he did a video about maybe 6 or 8 months ago, and it was about his guitar collection. And he went through a whole bunch of his guitars, and 3 or 4 of them has come out of my store. And I'd be like, oh, I sold him that one. I sold him an SG that's got binding. I've sold him a couple. I've sold him, and then sometimes he trades them back in a year later because he thinks of little projects, little video ideas that he can do with certain guitars. And then after he's done with it, he sells them back to me. And so, again, I feel very fortunate that he comes in and he shops and we make trades and he sells me a bunch of stuff. I've got a Tajima over there that was in one of his videos. I got one of those Erts, which is the Strat style, where no, it's a Telly style Ert, EART, that he sold me. And I've got 2 or 3, and I've got a Schecter, what's the guy? Sinister Gates. I got a Sinister Gates that he sold me down here. So yeah, I feel very lucky. But a $500 guitar that he would buy, you have no idea what he's gonna buy. I show him Strats that I get. I show him when I get Gibson stuff. I sometimes I text pictures over to him. I don't call him. I just text him. But sometimes I'll text a photo of a guitar that I get in here that, he might think is cool. I do got some Japanese Strats that he might sort of, you never know what he's thinking. He might decide to do a video, next month about made in Japan guitars, and he might need to buy or need to even borrow something from Japan. Or he did a video on can you take a cheap amplifier and really expensive pedals, will they make a cheap amplifier sound good? And he did a video on that, and he texted me and he said, hey man, how many cheap guitar amps you got? So I sent him a picture, and he came and I let him borrow 4 or 5 amps, and they're very cheap, like $50, $60, $75 amps. And he made a video on that, and then he brought the amps back a week or 2 later. But yeah, once in a while, it depends on what he's thinking. I did watch the video where he was in Sweetwater, and he just put the video up last night or yesterday where he wanted to buy a $500 or less guitar, including tax. And he picked out an Ibanez. It's like an AX double cutaway, green, 2 pickup, kind of a double cutaway Ibanez RX or an X something 120. And those are like very inexpensive guitars. I have no idea why he would have picked that one. And so you just never know, man. He's he's crazy like that. You got no idea what he's thinking and what he comes up with and what kind of video ideas he wants to do. But he's a cool guy. Dude, thank you so much. Symmetry. I really appreciate that, bro. $5 for a beer. I've been sitting, I sip Coke all day long some days. Gets me a little sugar. Some of these guys are coffee drinkers in the morning. And for some reason, as a kid, I just started drinking Coke. And in the 80s, man, if you watch movies from the 80s and stuff, that's all the kids did was drink soda, and they'd have Coke at lunch and everything. And I just started drinking Coke, and I never became a coffee drinker. I do drink a lot of beer, though, especially when I was 20, 30 years ago, I drank a shitload of beer every day. But I never became a coffee drinker, which sometimes I'm like, what the hell's wrong with me? How come I don't have a big old cup of coffee in the morning to get that little caffeine buzz? But I still do Coke. And I know there's a bunch of guys that are kind of like that. Hi, Alice. How are you? Thank you for hanging out today, checking it out. There's my buddy Rock Daddy. Rock Daddy came in here last a week ago Tuesday, and he sat right here in the store, and he did the Johnny Bean show. And so hopefully he had a good time doing that. And I'm trying to talk him into getting his whole computer set up at his house and putting some guitars behind him. And so Rock Daddy could be one of these live streamers, right? And trying to talk him into it, but I don't think he's going to pull the trigger. Maybe he will. Where I'm at, I'm slowly going through all your comments, guys. And so you guys are moving fast. Yep. Rock Daddy got a fan from Alice. She's the fan. Megatod. All right, so here's a Philip McKnight story. I don't know if Megatod wants to share, but McKnight sold me 3 guitars earlier in the month, and one was a solar. So the Ola England solar guitar, it was a beautiful condition, the blood red color, and it was just a super shredder. And Megatod is the proud owner of that guitar. So I hope you're still liking it. It's a cool one. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Let's see who else is in the chat. Rico B. Greetings from sunny Washington. Well, it's unusual that it's sunny up there because I think Washington's going to be a lot of rain is in their forecast. Hey, there's my good friend Brian S. Guitars. Can't stay long. Modding for Phil at the top of the hour. Okay, so Phil, is Phil going to live stream today? I think because he's out of town, I'm not sure he's going to, but I decided to do a little live stream today because for some reason I was thinking that McKnight was probably still in Indiana or flying back. I wasn't sure he was going to live stream today, but Brian, I guess you're going to do the just keep an eye on the whole chat. Make sure there isn't any craziness going on in there. He wasn't looking for those in his last video. He wanted a non Les Paul Strat copy. Maybe show him one of your crazy Japanese ones. Yeah, you never know what's going to strike a nerve with him. He might, an AX120. That's what the guitar was. I mean, they're cool, right? I don't think I would have picked that one. But it was a good color. The tortoiseshell pickguard on the green. He did have the idea that you could put some cool pickups in it for a couple $100. So under $500, you could have a really nice guitar. But I'm more of a whammy bar guy. Everything that I like to play is the whammy bar stuff, Floyd Rose stuff. You can see right here is a little collection of the stuff that I have in my store. And there's a Charvel that's beat up. There's a BC Rich I had painted. There's a couple parts casters. There's my Eddie Van Halen stripe parts caster. There's a Kramer Striker in white. There's another Bumblebee back there that a friend of mine painted. So that's kind of my style of guitars, is the super strat stuff. So I don't think I would have bought a hardtail, anything. Because the thing is, my guitar playing, when I play guitar, I am not a fast guitar player. So I rely on whammy bar tricks. Okay, to have any fun at all, I rely on my whammy bar to do string bends and hit some harmonics and do whammy bar tricks. So that's why I love Floyd Rose guitars, because I can't sit and go. My fingers don't work that fast, and so I'm a whammy bar guy. And so anything hardtail to me, I'm missing out on the few fun little guitar kind of riffs that I can pull off with a whammy bar. Without that bar, I can't do those. So I like to have a whammy bar. Yeah. You know, the last video that he did where he's like, I got $500 to buy a guitar and an amp. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. And that was at Sam Ash, which is out in Glendale, Arizona. So it's about 30 miles from where I'm at, maybe 25 or 30 miles. And so I'm on the east side of Phoenix. Sam Ash is the west side of Phoenix, and the town is actually Glendale, or it might be Peoria. But it's, again, we got this big metropolitan area, and the east side is Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa, Santan, and Apache Junction. And the west side of town is Avondale and Glendale, where the Cardinals Stadium is at, and Buckeye and Peoria. And so the Sam Ash is way out in Glendale or Peoria. But he went in there, and that was when he ended up getting that 50s tribute Les Paul for like $400, and he grabbed that thing off the wall. And when you want to buy a guitar, one thing I noticed from McKnight is I'll walk through a guitar shop. A lot of people walk through a guitar shop and they're like, I kind of want that guitar. I think I'm going to buy that one. But they leave it hang there, and they walk around the store a little bit more. And then they go up to the front desk and they ask the guy behind the counter, hey, I want to buy that Strat that's hanging over there. McKnight's the opposite. McKnight will grab that guitar off the wall and he'll carry it around the store with him for the next half hour or so until he goes up to the counter and buys it. So when he sees something he wants, man, he grabs it right off the wall and he carries it around with him. And he did the same thing at Sam Ash with that Gibson that he bought back there. I think it was a 50s tribute or whatever it was that he paid $400 for at Sam Ash when he did that video. And then he did the same thing with the Ibanez that he bought in Sweetwater. He took it off the rack and he carried it around with him. And so, that's how he's a little bit different than some of us. But if he sees something he wants, man, he grabs it off the wall and he carries it around. And then he still had his old store at the time. After he did that video where he walked through Sam Ash, he spent $500. And he had that Les Paul hanging on the wall with all of his other guitars that were for sale. But he didn't have a price tag on it. I think he just hung it there because it was an empty hook. And he didn't have any intentions on selling it. But you know what he did? He super untuned it. And so the strings were just flopping on there and just way out of tune. And so I saw it standing there and I'm like, ooh, that's the guitar that he bought at Sam Ash in the video. And then it was way out of tune. And so it's obviously he didn't want anybody to play it. So instead of putting a sign on it that says, do not touch or anything, he just untunes it way out of tune. And a lot of the times when I buy guitars from him, they're way out of tune. He purposely untunes them. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Oh, good. Todd. He loves his guitar he bought. And I feel very lucky that I can sell guitars to some of you guys and just be part of the whole community of guitar players. And yeah. So I guess McKnight's coming on live. Maybe I should let you guys get over there. I didn't really have much going on today at the store. So a lot of times if I start doing a live stream, and I only maybe do this once a month or something, but sometimes as soon as I start live streaming, a bunch of people come in the store and then I can't really live stream because I'm taking care of customers. And so I'm sitting here today on a Friday and it's slow. I did some good trades this morning. I got a little orange amp. I got a Fender Blues Junior. And I've done some stuff earlier this morning. But once it gets to be where it's about 100 and it's hot today. Once it gets to be 105 or something on a Friday afternoon, people aren't coming in just to browse around and have fun. It's too hot. Gas prices are too high to just go around and burn gas. So a lot of guys are just chilling wherever they work, or they're taking it easy. And But I'm hoping for a good day tomorrow. Usually Saturdays are my busy day. But Phil's coming live. John 5, back in the what was it? The Marilyn Manson. He also did a David Lee Roth album back in like 1999. He's a telly guy. Yeah, it's a little hike to get over there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. But I do think that I'm going to call it quits here in a few minutes. Dace Yates, the FDF band. Been enjoying your vids the last few days. Thank you so much, man, for watching those. You try to get to where, okay, what kind of video works for me? And, we all have, a lot of us have our own YouTube channels. And, sometimes I'll try to do like a demonstration of a new amplifier or something cool. But being a used guitar shop, most of the stuff that I get is a 10-year-old amp. You know what I'm saying? I get Boss Katanas, I get Orange Crush, and I get little Marshall DSL 40s. But to do a demonstration on a amplifier, you pretty much want it to be a brand new that just came out, or you won't get any views at all. And I do a lot of restring videos because I have to restring all these guitars anyhow. This was my latest video, this little Washburn, and it's got a really hard V-neck, which I think is really weird. But I do a lot of restring videos because I have to restring all these guitars anyhow. So, hey, man, how you doing? So I might as well just do a video while I'm doing that. And I know Dave's World of Fun Stuff is sort of the restring guy that set the bar for restring video channels. But I mean, I have to restring all these guitars anyhow, so I might as well let the camera roll and then make videos. And then it also helps because you guys can see the inventory that I just recently got in because I'm back there restringing it up. So it works for that. And hey, there's my buddy Carlos. How you doing, man? It's good seeing you. Janice, how are you? It's good to see you. Old guitar rescue videos. I know it, man. I dig that. That would be so cool if you did show up. Yeah, I love the idea of taking an old beat up guitar that's pretty much the average guy would throw it in the dumpster. And I love to because it's got a headstock injury or it's just been totally abused, by some kid for all these years. And I love to bring that kind of stuff back to life. I've known guitar. There was a guitar shop in Phoenix, and they kind of drove me crazy because they would take guitars and they would dismantle them and they would put all the parts on eBay. So they were just tearing every guitar that they got. They tore it up trying to sell the parts. And I hated that. And I hated going in there. And I feel lucky now because I think they were called Guitar Tree. But I'm pretty sure they're out of business now because I don't hear anything from them anymore. But I hate that idea of taking something apart just to try to get $65 for the bridge and $100 for the pickups and, and trying to do all that. That is the opposite of what I like to do. I like to take something and put it back together and make it usable again for the next generation of people out there. So, yeah, so I do a lot of restring videos, and I'm not very good at doing pedal demos, although I have a lot. And I have an MXR. I did a video on an MXR brown acid pedal that's at 22,000 views or something. I've done some stuff. but I just get sort of average views on that kind of stuff. I do have all these brand new hammer tone Fender pedals, and I'm like, oh, I can do a video on every one of these. And I've done one video on the chorus, and the video is kind of like, it's kind of cringy, and I'm kind of like, oh, I don't play very well. And so I'm like, I don't think I'll do that. I think I'll just keep going with other things. So it's easy to come up with content down here because there's so many items just sitting around that you can do YouTube content with. Hey, let me know if you got any questions. I'm doing a little live stream. Just ignore me. All right. But I do have tons of guitars in here, and I do have tons of pedals, and I could sit and make videos on that kind of stuff, but I don't have the knowledge that McKnight has, or the Tone King is really good and he knows about all his stuff. And so I got to find my own niche in the YouTube world. I don't live stream very much, and I like to do videos on items where guys will get on their phone and they'll be looking for some sort of a guitar or something, and they'll search it. Excuse me. And that's where you get good views, because guys are searching for those items. And even a Washburn from the 80s, you never know if guys search this kind of stuff out because, wow, I had something like that when I was a kid. And so I think you'll get better views on that than new products that come out, because again, it takes a long time to do a pedal video and make it good. It takes a long time for these sort of videos. I'm super lucky because I do have my son that works here with me, and he does all my editing. He's back in his office now editing a video. But I kind of stick to the type of videos where I have something that I have to do here at the store so that I can get this item ready to. Okay, guys, I'm back. That's all right. Let me show these guys what you bought. Guy just bought one of these, the Delta Lab Tube Screamer. So this is basically a clone of the Ibanez Tube Screamer. Delta Lab was a Guitar Center brand. So straight from Guitar Center at one time. Did you need a receipt? You hit the no button. That's okay. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Let me know how it turns out. Oh, I will. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, bought a little distortion pedal. No, overdrive. I saw a really good video from Anderton's where they set up all the overdrive pedals. They had the OCD and a whole bunch of them, and they all turned out really good. James, how are you? Yeah, hopefully he's satisfied. You you sell used gear, and so sometimes you got to test stuff out really well. And again, man, there's times where I'll sell a pedal or something, and the guys will bring it back a few days later and said, dude, it's all noisy, or it's hisses. And so, it's tough sometimes selling used gear because you have to worry about if the gear operates correctly. There's a lot of times where guys will bring stuff in and they want to sell me a whole bunch of stuff. And there you go, Alice. That's a good idea. But there's a lot of times where guys will want to bring in a bunch of equipment and they want to trade it in or something. And they try to get one over on you. So every pedal has a weird little glitch. The amps are all crackly pots and everything. I got this Fender Ultra Chorus amp right here the other day because all the pots were super scratchy. But I have some spray and I can clean that out. And that has a very beautiful chorus sound in it. And it really is a fun little solid state amp. But those solid state Fender amps, man, they are notorious for getting scratchy pots. But you can buy that electronic spray cleaner and you can get in there and you can clean that stuff. So I still take them anyhow, but yeah, once in a while you can kind of get into trouble by buying items that aren't working properly, and then you're trying to sell those items and they're still not working properly. So I always sort of tell people to test it out really well before you come back, or let me know how it's working for you. You can bring it back in a couple of days if you need to. So stuff like that. Panasonic Limix G7 micro-less camera to stream, and you will make your money back quickly in views. Hard to watch Motorola flip phone videos. Yeah, I don't have a flip phone video. I'm using I have a camera, a camcorder kind of style. And that's what I use to do my videos. And I think the overall, it's better than a Motorola flip phone. But, sometimes, video quality, sound quality is bad. But if the subject matter is really good, people can, see through and be fine with it. All right. What else is going on, guys? Anything? All right. I'm going to get back to my job. I have a video coming out tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's a big day for me because I'm not going to be in my store tomorrow. I am driving to Los Angeles. My band has a gig at the Whiskey A Go-Go, of all places. And I'm looking forward to that. It's about a 6-hour drive, but our time slot is 10:30 at night. So I actually get to get on that stage with my bass guitar, and my bass is at home that I play. But I actually get to go to the Whiskey Go-Go and get on that stage at 10:30 at night on a Saturday night and rock those people. And I'm feeling pretty good about my band right now. We're called Whiskey Dogs. And we recorded a song in the studio. I have a recording studio at my house, and we were making demo tracks and things like that. And we've recorded a couple songs, but they're basically just demos. But we actually went over here to a studio in Mesa, and it's called Sound Vision Studios. And we did 2 songs, and we haven't completed both of them. But the first one that we've got done sounds freaking awesome. And really good guitar work. The singing is good, and my bass playing turned out really good. So I'm super stoked. We got a good song. So I'm happy. The band is doing good right now. The 4 members of the band, we've been together for probably just about 4 years now. So we've got some good stability. And with members, we don't have to worry about, so-and-so is going to quit and anything like that. We're playing really good shows. So we've got the Whiskey A Go-Go tomorrow night. We've got in September 3rd, we're opening for Starship at the Canyon Club in Montclair, California. And then we're back at the Whiskey A Go-Go in November, opening for Striper. But that's going to be like probably an 8:45 time slot or something. So we probably won't even see those Striper guys. And then on December, the day before New Year's Eve, so it'd be January 30th, I think, or maybe the 29th, we're back at the Whiskey opening for Stephen Piercy from Rat and his solo project band that's out playing gigs right now. So things are going really cool with the band, and it's a lot of fun, and it keeps me feeling young. So I've got that to look forward to tomorrow. So the long drive, and here's the thing, man. People are like, oh, dude, you're super committed to drive 6 hours to go play a gig. But the thing is, yeah, that's a long drive, and it takes a good portion of your day to get there. But then you know what happens? You're there, and you're actually doing it. And that and so the drive and how far it took and your day driving along, listening to the radio, that is soon forgotten because you've got the memories of being on that stage at the whiskey. So I'm always up for doing something fun like that. The drive does not bother me. There's people that will not get in the car, and if it's 45 minutes to go somewhere or something, that's too long to drive. But I enjoy being in this band so much that a 6-hour drive, that's easy. Get out there and go play that gig. And yeah, the Yellow and Black Attack. You know what? I got the perfect bass too, but I'm not going to do it. Let me show you the bass that I've got for the Striper show. Oh, yeah. Look at that. All I would have to do is get a little black electrical tape and put a couple of stripes here and there on it with some tape. But I'm not going to do that because that would be a super cheesy move to open for Striper and try to steal their thunder with that yellow and black, Bumblebee. But this is a really cool bass. And you know what's super cool about it is it's Chandler Industries. So this is the company out of San Francisco that made the original the tube what's that pedal called? It's the they made pedals that had the tube in there that would light up, and it was like the tube driver. That's what it is. The Chandler Industries tube driver. That's what this company is best known for. And again, they're out of San Francisco, and they made stuff back in the 90s. But the back plate right here, I've taken this back plate off and I've sprayed the electronics and everything. And a guy took a little etching pen or whatever, and he put on the back of this, it's etched into the plastic from 1991. It says assembled in 1991. So yeah, this is the perfect bass to take to the Striper show. But I've been a big Striper fan for a lot of years. Yeah, the tube driver. I put aside the fact that they're a Christian rock band. To me, they're just a heavy metal band. And they've been super cool. And I was a huge fan for the first 3 or 4 albums, the Yellow and Black Attack. What's the Soldiers Under Command kicked ass. And to Hell with the Devil was a great album. They started having a lot of MTV popularity with those ballads that they did, and I wasn't into that, but I was totally into their heavy rock tunes that they did. And so basically, I think probably Soldiers Under Command was my favorite album. So that's going to be a fun show. But yeah, Chandler Industries. Here it is, my Striper band. And then for that, we're opening for Starship. And they still got Mickey. What's the lead singer's name from Starship? He's still in the band. So that's kind of cool. We were able to open for Foghat a couple of years ago, like a week before the pandemic hit really hard. And we opened for Foghat, and the only guy, the surviving member of Foghat is the drummer. So he's the guy that was setting on the milk crate, fishing into the manhole cover on the Fool for the City album cover. That's the existing member. So I got to meet that guy. Brad Guitar Miller, how are you, brother? Is it Mickey Hart? What's the lead singer's name in Starship? He also sang Fooled Around and Fell in Love. He sang that one. in the Alvin Bishop band. Dude, trust me, if I had stripy spandex, I would wear them. I've been in hair metal bands that did that kind of stuff. Mostly it was back in the 80s. I was in a band about 10, 12 years ago, and we were called Hollywood and Vine. There you go, Johnny. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Mickey Thomas is the still the singer in Starship, and he's still with the band. And so what we're going to do for that, because we're opening up and we're in direct support, so we go on right before them, we're going to play more of our more mellow stuff, because we got a couple of tunes that are almost getting into they're sort of 80s thrash almost. They're kind of fast and a little bit heavier, but for the Starship show, we're going to have to do more of the some of the mellow stuff we have. We have a ballad that's kind of sounds like the 80s, and so stuff like that. Hey, there's Quentin James. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so Canada, man. I put strings on a Breedlove earlier today, and I'm like, should I do a video on this one? And then I was like, restringing acoustics kind of boring. So I decided not to. But the guitars that I like to do videos on and restring are the ones that need a lot of work, and they're way, jacked up, and so I can really try to bring something back to life. Jack's a big Striper fan. Yeah, it was a good tune, man. Still a good tune. Mickey can still sing it like he used to be able to back in the day. There's a lot of these musicians and hair metal guys, and everybody's talking about it. But these poor guys that were tenors or a soprano back in the 80s, the guys that sang really, really high and still had a lot of grit to it and everything, those guys have all pretty much lost their voices now. But Mickey Thomas can still sing Fooled Around and Fell in Love. He can still sing Jane. He can still sing. There was a lot of tunes. I used to listen to their records back in the day. But he can still sing that stuff. And people aren't like in the audience going, oh, God, he can't sing anymore. I can carry this. I can, man. I can carry the spandex. But you know what? I'm starting to get kind of a beer belly, and it really looks ridiculous now. So no, I'm sticking to my blue jeans. Sometimes I'll get sort of a slim cut. I'm not going to rock the skinny jeans because I got these little chicken legs and I got a big beer gut. I'm big on the top end as far as my abdomen and this. I have big, long, skinny arms, but a lot of bass players do or whatever. So, but when I was a little bit thinner, I could rock the spandex and stuff. But no, I just look like a fool now. Yeah, the Winery Dogs. They do a version of that. Richie Kotzen singing, Billy Sheehan on bass. And there's videos on YouTube of those guys doing that. And it's pretty damn good. So, yeah. A very underrated singer. People keep telling me he's a very underrated singer. He's really good. He should be bigger than he is. But, that there's a lot of people that happen to fall into that same category. Do you have any used LPD pedals right now? I do, Brad. Let me set this bass back down, and I'll grab a couple of my LPD pedals. Hold on. Okay, I keep my LPD pedals right here in a display case. That's right here. So I have the 68 Deluxe. I have the old script logo, 74. I have the brand new 55, which is one of the new ones. I have one of the older field generators. Don't really know what this one does. It's probably some sort of a boost pedal. And then I also have the Javelina boost. So this is my mic's tripping out on me. This is my collection, and maybe I can show you guys all these. I do something like that. There we go. And I'll get this out of the way. All right. So these are my LPD pedals. And Lawrence Petros lives right here in the same town that I am in. He lives and works right here in Mesa, Arizona. And so, again, I have this one at $150. And it's the 68 Deluxe. And I don't know if this is the new version or his old version of this, but I'm guessing that this is his old version. And this was probably a 200. I don't know. It probably retailed at least $200, when he put this one out. This is the 74, and I bought this one brand new from him. And it's been a couple of years, and I still have it. Now, sometimes I get guys that come in and they ask, "Katie got LPD pedals," and sometimes, I get what I can get from him. The thing is, though, Lawrence, as a dealer, Lawrence will sell me pedals at 30% off of what he normally sells them for, right? I get 30% off. I get like a dealer price. But now Lawrence is so busy, and he's so back ordered on his pedals that I haven't bought any from him because it doesn't make sense for Lawrence to make pedals for me and then sell them to me for 30% off, because he's got orders to sell all these pedals at full retail. So it doesn't make too much sense for Lawrence to make a bunch of pedals just to sell me on the cheap. But this is the SEP field generator, $100. So it's a used price. So you got a boost and a cloak. And then you got a switch in the middle that is 42 or 7. What's that say? 7 times 5 right there in the center. So I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to guess it's a boost. And look, it had some stuff on the back. I probably should clean that off of there. But there is that one. And then the Javelina boost. And that has a little Javelina on there. And so it's a 1-button boost pedal. So when you're in your clean channel, it's going to overdrive it a little bit and give you a little Stevie Ray Vaughan sound. When you're in your dirty channel, it's going to boost it a little bit and give you more of an Eddie Van Halen Brown sound in your dirty channel. So it's kind of 2 pedals in one, but it is a boost. And so Lawrence has made a lot of these sort of boost pedals and sort of preamp. This is I would consider this a preamp, right? And same with this one. I would consider these preamps. Now, this one is supposed to make your, Phil McKnight did a video on this one. This is supposed to give you the old classic tone of an old Fender amp or something. But yeah, those are my LPD pedals. Set aside the 55. Thank you, Brad. I won't be in tomorrow. If you want to call me in about an hour from now, that would be cool. Or you got to wait until Monday. The 74 is a good one. Quentin. The 87. Oh, I don't have an 87. I've had one. It's sold. So you gave one to Guitar Hack. I think Guitar Hack's doing really good because every once in a while he goes on the Sea of Tranquility channel with that Pete Pardo guy, and they talk about records or music. They talk about their favorite, Judas Priest albums of all time. The clock allows you to blend in the clean, unboosted channel. Okay. Super cool. Yeah, so any of you guys, there's any time during regular business hours, you guys can call me, ask me questions about anything. If there's something, trying to get a business card. If there's something you guys want to ask me about as far as, hey, man, how much is this one guitar? Or how much? Or do you have any of these kind of things? Do you have any 8 strings or whatever? You guys always can call me during regular business hours. 480-242-3742. And with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And I really appreciate it. It's 26 of you guys watching right now. Thank you guys so much for participating with me, letting me be a part of this guitar community that we're all a part of. I see all you guys in all these chats, and you support all these other guitar shops, and you support all these other YouTube videos, and a big thank you for that. And so I will see you guys in the next video, okay? Thanks a lot. See you guys. Bye-bye.